Welcome to the ScreenMDM Talks podcast hosted by me, Manju Daswani. This week our sponsor is MD Media Biz.
Hello, and we're back with another Gen A to Z episode of ScreenMDM Talks. Today we're going to be chatting with Erika Vogt-Lowell, who's the VP of Content at HITN, about Edye, which is a premium content platform geared to preschoolers in LATAM and the U.S. Hispanic market. Erika, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's a delight to have you. Now, I know you're marking a major milestone this year with your 7th birthday. Fantastic. Tell us about Edye's positioning in the marketplace now. Give us a sense of how it has evolved over these 7 years.
The original plan for Edye was essentially just to serve the Hispanic market in the U.S. We had on our main channel, which is HITN, we had a preschool block, and anywhere we put it on linear, it just wasn't working. So after some research and after doing a lot of kind of investigating and everything, we realized, you know what? Preschool age children are watching more and more content. This is back in 2018, around there, on their parents' devices. It's just where they are, and what's simpler for the parents. So we decided to launch an SVOD service just for the U.S. Hispanic families. But once we announced the launch, several people reached out to us from LATAM saying we want this as well. So we had to. I remember we were at I think it was a MIP TV, yes, because we launched in April. So we were up late at night, kind of changing rights and updating contracts and agreements and everything. And we were able to launch for LATAM as an SVOD service. So we were available from the beginning in both LATAM and US. Eventually, towards the end of 23 or early 2024, we launched in Brazil. So now we offer the same service in Brazilian Portuguese in Brazil. That has done really well, and we're really, really happy with it. And then recently, around mid last year, we actually launched a linear channel in LATAM. It came out of nowhere. We originally had no plans for it. Obviously, everything was moving out of linear, but now we're moving back to linear. So, we're going with the flow, and it's actually done really, really well. We're really happy with the channel, and we're expecting it to grow, and we're expecting to start moving out into other areas.
Early childhood development is baked into your entire mission. Give me a sense of how that works in practice with educators, with researchers. How does that inform your content strategy?
Well, HITN, the main channel, is a non-for-profit paid TV channel, and really our focus is to offer Hispanics in the U.S. a good way of seeing things, or support, and that is kind of the basis of Edye. Edye focuses on preschool age children, and we want to be a service to the parents of those children. So what we do is we carefully select the content that we have on the service. It really goes through a significant screening process, debate internally as to what are the merits, what are not, what can we offer our parents that offers value. And it can be educational, it can be entertainment. We're not saying we're 100% educational, we're not saying we're 100% entertainment. We fall in a really nice little spot right in the middle, where it kind of covers both areas. And depending on what it is that your child needs, or what it is that you feel you want your child to experience, we have that for you in a safe space, in a space where parents feel comfortable that their children won't come across something that they shouldn't. Parenting nowadays is, granted, it's been difficult since the beginning of time, but now with so many things that are available and so many avenues available for children to fall into something that you don't really want them to, we want to provide a space where parents can say, okay, this is something that I'm comfortable with them engaging in. Additionally, we also create parent guides for all the series that we select. So it provides parents kind of a deep dive into what their children are watching, what they're learning, and why it is that we selected that content for them. We actually explain to them why we have chosen that content and why it's included in the service. We also have games, we have books, we have different activities that are sent every month for the parents to do with their children. A couple of months ago, we launched with Care Bears. And so we created an activity for the children to do with their parents, which using every single Care Bear that we have on the series. So we have Grumpy Bear, and we have different things, and you speak to the child about when you're grumpy or what makes you grumpy, and then you can ask the child what makes you grumpy. So that kind of, apart from the screen, provides some experience for the parents to connect with their children related to what they saw in Edye. So we're kind of trying to offer a 360 experience for them. Yes, they can watch on the screen, but yes, we want to take them away from the screen and have some kind of experience off. that can be related to what they saw. So it connects to them, and it can also create a connection with the parent and the child.
Now, you mentioned Care Bears. Obviously, that's a big, iconic brand for preschoolers. Give me a sense of where you're acquiring from, how you're balancing that big franchises versus the little gems that you discover, and then also how you're looking at that the traditional content made for regulated streamers and broadcast platforms, and then what is being made and coming out of the YouTube ecosystem. How are you balancing those sides?
We speak to everyone, and we try to uncover, like turn over every single rock to see what's out there. In a previous edition of this podcast, you spoke to someone who was talking about how he has three different clients that he thinks of, which is what we consider at Edye. We have the children that we program for, we have the parents that we program for, and then we have the cable operators that carry Edye
Yeah.
that we also program for. So
Yeah,
we have
of
to
course.
cover those three, and those three have vastly different objectives with what they want. So we obviously need to have our tent poles, which are our major ones, or our recognizable characters. We have Pupptails, Paw Patrol. We have, again, like I said, Care Bears. We launched the Smurfs. So those are the big ones that draw kids in, that draw everyone in.
Yeah.
And then we have sometimes, like you said, that maybe that come from independent producers that we really, really love to include because they're fantastic. So we draw them in with the big ones, and they discover the new ones that we have on. And then we have obviously the ones that carry the load that everyone knows. You know, you
Mm.
have your Sesame content, you have
Right.
your strawberry shortcake, which now is coming with a new heritage version. So we're super excited about that. So we try to create a mix of everything that will appeal to not just children, but parents, kind of some nostalgia in there, and then the cable operators that they can use to kind of draw in more customers. So we cover various different objectives with our programming. In terms of YouTube, we were discussing this in the office. It's funny how when you see kids actually live live user generated content, it's not like you sit back and you watch. Actually, they are living the content that they're watching. It's very difficult to say no YouTube. There has to be some kind of presence on YouTube, and we do have to balance kind of, okay, well, it's super popular on YouTube. Does it
Mm.
fit with us? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and that's fine. Every production has its time and space wherever it is that they are. But again, we recognize that YouTube is somewhere you have to be, and somewhere you have to play a part in, be it through using it as a marketing tool or using it as a business. It's not going to go away. So you have to figure out how to work with it and how to incorporate it in your plans.
You do. Now, as you're
Mhm.
looking out for content for the year or two ahead, are there things that you're not seeing enough of that you wish you were seeing more of?
This is not something that is something written in what we search for, but I always look for content where I know someone will feel seen. So be it diverse content, be it content with something different, or just the content that looks regular. But I always do it through the lens of, will a child feel seen, or will a child see something that they're not used to and have them say, "Oh, okay, that's new." Especially for parents too. Parents want to also feel seen and be recognized for the effort that they're putting into this, because raising children is not easy. So we want to acknowledge that. There's not so much coming out lately in terms of diverse content and showing different types of storylines or characters. So that's something that I really kind of, once I find a good one, we do everything to kind of incorporate it.
Yeah. No, that's a really great brand filter, that idea of
Mhm.
just being seen. 'Cause I know
Yep.
everything that I grew up on, I was not anywhere, right? Literally nowhere. And
Yep.
I hope kids going forward just have more of that. I know DNI has taken a massive, massive, massive
There
step
was
back.
there was a just a presentation at Kids Screen a few months ago, which was incredibly sad that the diverse content offerings are really taking a tumble, and so
Yeah.
it's something hopefully that will come back.
No, I think it will. I hope it will. So, now you talked about the element of curation and how deeply curated it is. Everyone talks to me about data, tracking the data, tracking the data. How do you look? Does any of that sort of feed into your strategy? No.
You're speaking to someone who started her career as a research analyst. So,
Oh, God.
I research is I love research and I love numbers. We unfortunately are a small company, so we can't invest in a lot of research and numbers for what we have. So a lot of kind of the viewing data and the numbers, like just quantitative data, we rely on our partners to provide for us. So that's they can be very very helpful. Sometimes they we don't get it as much as we would like to, but that's what we use to kind of understand. But what I really, really use is kind of my driving force is the why. So numbers
Mm,
won't really give you the why, they'll give you the how much, but the why is a little bit better in giving you direction as to, okay, we should probably lean this way or lean that way. So
yeah.
what I always used to use as my kind of source for that information were markets. Kidscreen was by far my favorite market because of the incredible research presentations that they would have. I mean, I would leave my last day empty so I could attend every single presentation because that's when they really had the interesting investigation into Gen Alpha, Gen Z, what the trends are with parents.
Yeah.
So that's really where we would get our understanding of what the trends are for, especially parents of preschool age children and preschool age children as well.
Now, obviously, we've talked about how different 2019 was to
Mhm.
today. You're 7, right? 7 is a weird age. You're still figuring things out. Give me a sense. What's the next stage of growth for Edye? What is on the horizon for you?
So we're honestly we're incredibly happy where we are. We're incredibly happy with our growth. We're doing really really well. Like I said, we
Yeah.
just launched a linear channel. We extended into Brazil. That being said, we are in deep discussions about original productions and moving forward with that. While we don't have anything set, we do realize, and like I said earlier, we do realize we need to have a presence somehow, somewhere,
Yeah.
on different platforms, just as maybe a marketing tool. So that's definitely something that we're looking into. We've done some short, small original productions. One is called Como se dice, which is teaching letters in English. We have
Ah,
it both in Spanish and in Brazilian Portuguese, and we also have one called Respira, which is breathe, which is episodes that are meditations helping children relax at
mhm.
night and get into a restful sleep, or even helping them understand their emotions or helping them
Yeah.
figure things out, or positive speak to themselves. Those are also
Yeah.
available in Spanish and in Brazilian Portuguese. We have a couple of other things in the works in terms of short original content, but we're really really looking forward to that. And what's really our big focus in the future are experiences, kind of taking the children off the screen and into the real world. We are a content platform, so yes, we want our we want the children and the parents to understand that we're on the screen, but we also understand that there's a time and a place for the screen, and there's a time and place for being outside and
Yeah.
enjoying time and offering ideas for experiences and offering different things for them to do for parents to do with their children in, let's call it, the real world. So that's one big focus that we're going to have. We're really planning on a few things, as like what I said earlier about the different activities on a monthly basis that we offer parents ideas for. We're also looking at creating parties based on different characters. So it's an evolving project, but it's a really nice one. It's really exciting that we can offer something in addition to just Eddie's.
For sure. And those experiences obviously are things that kids will do with their caregivers, with their parents. What role does sort of co-viewing play in your entire equation? Because I know a lot of platforms are talking about that now. Is that something that you think about in your curation?
Absolutely. In fact, we think about it not just on Eddie, we think about it on HITN, which is our main
Mm.
channel. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a family channel, so it's something that we select
Yeah.
to program, and talking about HITN, for the whole family to watch together. There's nothing that we select that we would say, "Eesh, I don't know if they want their children to watch." So that's definitely core to how we select our content. Eddie the same way. I mean, it's animation, so we don't expect the parents to sit and watch every single episode that the children like to watch, but we do select content that parents would be okay watching a little bit with them and enjoying with their kids, and kind of helping them spark conversation of, "Oh, did you see what happened? How did you feel about that?" So we always try to select content that helps connect parents to their children and help them kind of live the experience together.
I love your passion for this business and
Oh,
for
thank you.
serving kids with nutritious content because I know we've had a rough couple of years in the business, right? For the kids business, it's been hard. So
Uh-huh.
I'm always thankful to be able to speak to people who are genuinely trying to fix the problem somehow, some way. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much for being on the show with me today. I really have.
Oh,
It's been a joy talking to you. Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks for listening to the ScreenMDM Talks podcast hosted by me, Mantra Daswani. Kate Roach is our VP of Global Ad Sales and Business Development. Production was done by Anand Patel. Musical score performed and composed by Jahan Raymond.